So I was using my computer the other day when it decided to blue screen for the 19th time in the last 5 minutes. Last time I ever bought a painting for downtown. The guy in the shop told me this was cutting edge. This piece of shit couldn't cut butter, which was ironic because it was overheating to the extent that smoke was billowing out, and I would get lightheaded if I stayed in the room for more than 2 minutes at a time. Frustrated with this interruption to my workflow, out up to the internet for advice. I asked on the board, called you what I could do to fix this ongoing issue. First, installed Genu is what they told me. I had no idea what this meant, and when I followed up with a further question, the thread took a downturn and they all told me to fuck off. The joke's on them, they had inadvertently disclosed their most closely guarded industry secret before telling me to leave and calling me dozens of slurs, including brain the ones they invented just for use on me. I had the info I needed, so I quickly exfiltrated the image board. I looked into installing Genu. After watching 60 hours of tutorial video from YouTube, I was ready to give it a shot. So I plugged in my 56K modem and started dialing up. Naturally the connection failed, even though that guy in the PC shop told me that 56K is pushing the limits of physics, and anything faster in 2023 would be impossible. In hindsight it looks like it was taking me along for a ride, which would be a slow ride because his brother was the guy who sold me my Fred Flintstone card. After 7 weeks of downloading and tens of thousands of dollars in phone bills, I was ready to go with the installer. I worked out that to load the 3GB image on a floppy disk, I would need over 2,000 of them. I had to sell my Fred Flintstone card, my cellular telephone, and my mansion to afford this much removable storage. But it still wasn't enough in the end. I found a loan shark on an LLC channel and agreed to borrow money from him. But when I went to collect from him, rather than taking a stack of paper out of his bag, he instead took out a spike and coaxed me into the trunk of a nearby car, even though I was willing to get into the trunk without the spike. After 5 minutes of driving, the car crashed into the side of an abandoned warehouse, causing the trunk to open with the force of the impact. This also caused the wall of the warehouse to collapse and smash the crate open, revealing thousands of information floppy disks spilled onto the floor. In my haste, I gathered them all up and held them using my t-shirt and some rebar as a makeshift pinnacle. Anyways, when I got home, I started putting the image onto the floppy disk, taking over a month to accomplish. It took another 2 months to proceed through the installation by swapping the disc thousands of times, only for the installation to fail at the very last disc. Fuck this shit, I threw that cheap piece of crap out the fucking windows, fitting as it was Windows YP. That was the operating system causing me all the problems to begin with. I had to learn Cyrillic to use this thing, don't let effort wasted. All the anger became too much for me to bear and caused me to black out and fall unconscious onto the floor, not waking up for over 6 days in a foul puddle of my own bodily fluids and waste. I later found out this was due to the brain injury I had sustained in a car crash, but that's beside the point. How much of my time had I wasted on this nonsense that started putting my picture on milk cartons in the time it took since I started this venture? I had assumed this was my PR company's latest move to promote my new single, but on closer inspection it was because my loved ones were concerned for me as they thought I was missing. But the name was wrong on all these cartons, it said Slim Shady. I still have no clue who Slim Shady is.